so this is not they're billing it as a merger of equals, but it's not 1 + 1 = 2. The sum of the parts of Heinz and Kraft will end up being smaller than they are together.
Right, and well, certainly they're going to be able to extract a huge amount from combining two companies. They're claiming this 1.5 billion number, which is an enormous number by any standards. The question is how they get there, and they've offered some explanations so far. Obviously, there are kind of some very obvious cost savings to do with, you know, they have similar ingredients in their products, so they can get some supply chain synergies there. There's some sort of more complicated synergies, you know, can they put Kraft products into other things 3G already owns, so can they put them into Burger King restaurants?
But what I'm trying to say is the combined company is going to be smaller than the sum of the two parts, because what 3G is going to do is cut costs, cut out the fat.
They are going to cut costs, they are going to cut out fat. They've already done a lot of that at Heinz, bear in mind. So they're really, I guess a lot of the fat will be cut from Kraft. And what does that mean? In reality, that means job losses. We think there are going to be a lot of job losses. This number they're projecting, I think it's annually by 2017, huge number.
Yep.
How do they get there? Headcount reduction would be the most obvious route.
Is this a glimpse into the future of Warren Buffett, as the Financial Times is writing this morning, that he is, you know, moving away from the tradition of being a value investor, and now he's getting into the business of synergy and cost cutting just behind 3G?
Right, and as you say, it's behind 3G. He's letting someone else kind of go in, do the dirty work for him, make the cuts, make the savings. And is he doing this because he can't find the value targets anymore? That's the question. Or is it that 3G are just very, very smart? They identify the targets, they go to Warren, they say, hey, you know what, we want to do this, we want your name attached to it, will you provide the funding? And we can all come out of the deal very well.
Ed, let's look a little more broadly at what private equity does. The standard template is you make a purchase, you make a lot of cuts, you lard it up with debt, and you make strategic changes. What seems to be different here is they're just going to make a lot of cuts.
Right, so that's one difference, is they make a lot of cuts. Another clear difference is they hold their companies for a long time. So 3G don't do the traditional private equity thing of go in, as you say, gear it up with a lot of debt and then flip it. They go in, they make these substantial cuts, and they hold it and actually run it as a highly efficient business, and then they find some other exit. I mean, in a way, what they're doing with Heinz is a form of exit, because they're reversing it into a public company and making it public again, but they're still holding their stake. So they're still going to hold, you know, in a way, an enlarged stake in an enlarged company. The other thing that they do very differently, and this is almost unique to them, is they do these sort of deals one-to-one. They're not in auctions. They approach companies, they get the deal done, no one knows about it until, you know, in this case, the night before, and then they're done. In private equity, that's almost unheard of. It's nearly always competitive.
Yeah.